Blackfoot River has been a part of my family's life since the early part of the 20th century. Our close connection to the Blackfoot River really started in 1921, when my grandfather, the Reverend John Norman McLean, my namesake, got a lease on a property on Seeley Lake, Montana. The Blackfoot River was the closest big river to that, and from there on to this very day, it has been the family river.
Many of the pursuits and passions of my life have been formed and shaped on the banks of these rivers, and to be able to raise my sons on a river is something I'm extremely thankful for. But it needs to be, preserved and protected so that it's here for them for years to come and for their kids and generations to come.
My dad's book, River Runs Through It, transformed the state of Montana and changed fly fishing and made it an international phenomenon. The Blackfoot River was in terrible shape at the time my dad's book came out. Well, the river came back. And frankly, you fishes today when it's fishing well, better than it did when I was a kid. But today the Blackfoot is being loved to death. Well, I can't imagine what my life would be like without the Blackfoot River. It's the common element for the people in my life that I'm closest to, from my family to my best friends. But if you want to have the kind of experience that my father wrote about and that I wrote about, you can forget it if we continue the way we're going.
As a fourth generation Montanan, raising the fifth generation of our family to grow up in this state, I implore Steve Daines to get in step with John Tester and the 75% of Montanans who support the Blackfoot Clearwater Stewardship Act and pass this legislation.
There are things we can do as individuals, but there are things we can also do en masse, and one of them is to pass common sense legislation that gives something to everybody. It's the Blackfoot Clearwater Stewardship Act. It would help protect the upper reaches of the Montour Creek and the North Fork of the Blackfoot. These are vital spawning grounds for the Blackfoot. The act goes through, they will be preserved. It's as simple as that. It's good compromise legislation. I'd like to send a personal message to Senator Daines, who has personally held this up for a very long time. My family goes back over a century in this state. The Stewardship Act is supported by 75% of the people of Montana. It's good for the people, it's good for the fish, it's good for the river. Why isn't it good for Congress? Why isn't it good for you, Senator Daines? Why isn't it good for you? It is time to pass the act.